Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and I'm back with another crowdfunding preview. This is Weirdwood Manor, a 1 to 4 player cooperative game where you are trying to defeat a monster, one of varied types, in this ever-changing board. I'm going to do my regular thing, play a solo two-handed playthrough, and then at the end I'll have my impressions of the game so far. And a reminder that we never take any compensation for our crowdfunding coverage, we just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the content of the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also check out our separate streaming channel for even more content, listen to our weekly podcast, or join the conversation on our Discord. So like I said, Weirdwood Manor is played on the shifting board. How that happens is you've got an inner and an outer ring that can both spin, and these both mark time in the game. But also, they change up which doorways, because you have doorways kind of going off both sides, which doorways are open and closed, so kind of like change up the movement you can do. And you have these randomly placed tiles, so I randomly place these at the beginning of the game. They're going to give you different like room abilities. You're also trying to protect these rooms. So yeah, the board might look kind of complex at first, but it's not that bad once you get used to the iconography. And of course, everything here is a prototype. I got to say, it works pretty well, but it could all change, and I'm sure become smoother as the game finishes up. And in the game, you face off against one of 3 bosses. At least that's what I was sent in the prototype. There might be more in the actual campaign. I'm playing the Chaos Ogre, which is the least complicated one. He's just trying to smash around and defeat Lady Weirdwood, the mistress of the manor. If he does that, gets her all the way down to this dead space, we lose. Or if too many of the locations on the board get blighted and flipped over by these clockwork scarabs charging around the board, then we lose. And he's going to take a turn after each of the player turns. He's going to advance time by a certain amount, which is going to bring us closer to also losing the game if too many days pass. And also the icon on top tells us what kind of action he's going to do. So when we resolve his action, he's going to probably attack in some way with this card. Then we get to our hero characters. They've each got some experience tracks that let them level up as they accomplish different things in the game, unlocking new bonuses. They can also level up their combat dice. You start out with just rolling 1 blue die, but by spending different resources at different locations on the board, you can increase that. You also have a health value, which acts as both your max hand size limiter, but also is, of course, your health. And each character has a unique set of 3 special abilities that have a cost and a effect when you resolve them. I'm playing with Oliver Griffin, one of the 6 heroes they sent me, which is a medium complexity hero, as well as Sekhmet Safar, which is a very aggressive, basic complexity hero. And each character has a unique deck of cards, although some of the cards are repeated among characters. These are going to be your action cards. They're going to be placed up in these spots above your board, which will correspond with the time mechanic. You'll see that when we get into the play. And they're going to give you different powers and icons to resolve as you go. And when you get into combat with either the big boss or with the scarabs that are attacking the different rooms, you're going to roll some dice. You'll have blue dice, which are balanced. Red dice tend to roll more swords for attack. Black dice tend to roll more shields for defense. And you kind of subtract them. So, like here, if I had attacked for 1 sword and they had blocked for 2 defense, I would deal no damage to them. And I mentioned Lady Weirdwood. She starts in the middle against this boss. Things do change based on which boss you're playing against, like what your victory conditions are and how things work and what Lady Weirdwood does. In this case, she's being threatened by all these scarabs in the central throne room. If we can defeat all 6 of those scarabs, we'll be able to start moving her around and having her attack with us. Until then, though, she's just a sitting duck for the Chaos Ogre to come in and smash her. All right, I'll get into like the nitty-gritty rules as I actually take my turns, but for now, let's get into the play. So both Sekhmet and Oliver start in the entrance hall, and each of the rooms has a special ability, but you can only resolve those when you move into them, which I'm probably about to do, or when you defeat all the enemies on a room, and then you get to activate it as well. And I'll go ahead and start the game with Sekhmet. She's got 3 cards. Magic Mirror and Shadow Steps are basic ones that everybody has, and everyone starts with these Shadow Steps in their hand. Shadow Steps lets you move twice, and each time you get to resolve a room ability, or you can just teleport straight to another room on your current ring, even if there's normally no open like hallway space to get through there. Magic Mirror lets you repeat the actions on an action card you've already played. Not very useful as your first one. And then her last one in her hand right now is Impart Deadly Wisdom. It lets another player gain 3 experience. And that, again, increases these tracks to give you either immediate bonuses or sometimes like ongoing permanent bonuses. And then it also lets her score 3 experience points. That one seems pretty good later. Maybe she doesn't have anywhere to move. But for the first turn, let's go and do Shadow Steps and show you 2 movement actions. Now, this part's very important. You see that there are 4 slots above the board for action cards, and each of them corresponds to a different time of day. We've got morning, what is it? I don't know, afternoon, twilight, and night, or something like that. And this is going to play into the time-based movement of the game. So whenever you take an action, you look at where the current hourglass is pointing. Right now, it's the first morning space. And whichever slot you played your card to, you have to advance to a different space of the same type. So here, because I played my action card on a morning space, I can't stay on the same one, but I can either advance the thing once or twice. And you'll see there's like these little like hallways opening and closing up. So I can choose to go to either of these spaces and change up the movement possibilities in the central space. For now, I'm just going to move it as little as possible and only go one. Now, if I had played a card with the kind of like afternoon or day symbol, I'd have to advance to one of these. And if I played, twilight or whatever it is, or evening, I'd have to keep on going. And this will keep on advancing. And whenever it goes from nighttime to morning, passing this little thing, then this bigger outer circle, the daytime one, rotates to be the next day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you ever go past day 12, you lose the game immediately. You've run out of time. And also the boss gets harder the longer you wait. So we don't want to do that. So again, I'm just going to move to the first available new morning space. And then my Shadow Steps card is giving me 2 movement actions. And Sekhmet can move as far as I want. So I can go through this little open door right here. There is no opening here. You see the wall on the ring is preventing it. But I can go like all the way through. I can go in here. If there was an open door here, I could keep on going here. So I can go like in and out of these different tiers as much as I want. The only thing that stops me, besides walls, of course, is if I move into a room with a scarab or with the boss, basically with an enemy, I do have to stop my movement immediately there. And the other negative of it is when you move into a room with an enemy, you don't get to activate the room bonus. Usually, wherever I stop my movement, I get to activate the bonus. So like if I stopped in the cartographer's chambers, I could immediately use this ability here. Now let's talk strategy for a moment. What kind of things might I want to be doing? Well, first of all, I want to build up more combat dice because the goal of the game is to kill the boss, and the Chaos Ogre is a lot stronger than us right now. And this is the cost of getting each new combat die. You've got the books are knowledge, the little fires are min, kind of like mana. And then the little circles are any of the 3 basic resources, which are min, knowledge, and scarabs, which you can get from actually defeating scarabs. So that's one thing I might want to go for, a flame and a book. By the way, she starts with the 4th resource, which is not a basic resource type. This is power, which is always needed to activate any of your special abilities. Now, something else Sekhmet might want to go for is getting the resources required to hire a companion. So this is the cost to get them in resources. But once you do, they get placed next to your player board. And first of all, they give you an ongoing power. Some of them have this little symbol, which means it requires you to exhaust them, and they'll come back later in the game. But besides giving you access to an ongoing or activated power, they also give you another slot for action cards, and this one is wild, so you can pick the type of day you're playing into. So definitely good to get those. But for now, combat dice seem cool to me. So first, I'm going to have her go to the Archive of Mysteries. This icon means I can discard a card from my hand, which isn't really bad because it lets you cycle out cards you don't need right now. Because your hand size doesn't really change that much. You play the one card and then you just draw back up to whatever your life value is. And I'm going to get 3 knowledge for that. And between these 2, leveling up is pretty cool, but it doesn't let me do anything else, so I'm going to discard that one. Then for a second move, I want to go into the Ancient Foundry. This little hammer symbol on a die means that I could build my next combat die, and it would also let me get the min or book I need to have the resources to do so, but it's blocked off, sadness. So instead I'm going to go 1 above to the Atrium of Wishes. I get to gain 1 health, 1 experience, and either a min or a knowledge. I'm going to get the min since that's what I need to build my first die. So there we go. I'm getting 1 experience. So going on this track would immediately get me another token to activate my powers, and also lets me get resources. This track unlocks permanent combat bonuses. This sword means I'll get an extra hit every combat. This block means I'll get an extra block every combat, otherwise it has healing. And this track mainly gets you warden cards and scarab removal, because especially with this boss, if you get too many scarabs on the board, you're going to lose. And warden cards kind of give like ongoing bonuses to the action cards you play. But even though it doesn't get me anything immediately, I'm going to work towards that +1 attack bonus. Sekhmet tends to be somebody who likes to fight a lot, so it makes sense. And I gained 1 health. That doesn't really do much, except that at the end of the turn after the boss activates, I'm going to draw back up to my health in hand size. So I'm going to have not just my magic mirror that I kept, but also 3 new cards to look at. But I mentioned the boss. So first, time's going to advance 4 times. And that's the time of day. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. We're into the day. So probably Oliver is going to play into this slot next turn. And then we resolve the boss's card. In this case, it is Thundering Roar. So you'll often have like an automatic thing that happens based on where the boss is located. In this case, it says if the boss is in the same space as Lady Weirdwood, he would have taken away one of her health. And remember, if that happens 1, 2, 3 times, she's dead and we lose. But he's not in her space, but this is an end effect, so we're going to do this next thing. So we have a green, a yellow, and a red. And that's going to be based on what day it is. So he's calm for day 1 through 4, which also affects the dice he's rolling, angry for days 5 through 9, and enraged for days 10 and 11, 12. So here the only effect is the Chaos Ogre's hatred pulsates throughout his room. All players in his room lose 1 life, but we are nowhere near his room, so that's totally fine. And we can see the next turn he's going to attack again. So really not going to do anything nasty to us yet, as long as we don't choose to go over to his room. And that is 1 entire turn. Generally, it's playing an action card, resolving the stuff, and then resolving 1 boss's card. But Sekhmet is going to draw back up to her life value of 4. So she's got Touch the Fate. This gets her a bunch of min. Lore Master Meditation gets her a bunch of knowledge. And Determined Sprint lets her move once, but Scarabs don't stop movement. And 2 things about these I didn't mention yet. First of all, you'll see that they have little icons to the left and right. These can match up with each other. I don't really have any to match right now to show you. Oh, here, that one I discarded. Let's say that I'd played that there. And then let's say that I played this here. Because I have a sword matching up, I would get bonus hits in combat. And a really nice card is Magic Mirror. That is a wild symbol, which means that you always match it up with whatever's next to it. And by the way, the blues, if they're matched up with, mean that you pay 1 less min for effects each turn. And the books mean you pay 1 less for knowledge each turn. And as you can imagine, the shields are an extra block. So all right, got some options for next turn. And the one other thing about the cards is you can always play a card face down into a slot, although it won't have any of those icons to match up, to do one of the basic options like moving or attacking if you don't have one of those actions in your hand. All right, next up is Oliver Griffin. He also needs a min and a knowledge to advance, although he starts out with a min, so this a single book will take care of him. And his starting cards, he's got Theromancer's Gift. He can gift up to 3 basic resources to another player, and he gets 2 experience per resource gifted. That'd be cool if he gets a bunch that he doesn't need right away. He's also got a basic charge, move, and attack. And I should say all these things and all room effects can be resolved in whatever order you want. So you could like attack somebody on your current space and then move. And then the basic shadow steps, same as Sekhmet. He doesn't really have many resources to trade yet. He's not leveled up to charge, so let's do shadow steps for him as well. And like I said, we're going to do it in the 3rd type of time. And we just have to rotate to the first available one, although we could go farther. And let's see where he can go. Well, Archive of Mystery seems like a solid choice for him as well for his first move. Although, I kind of like his cards. I'm going to keep the charge because I definitely want to fight something soon. I guess he just won't level up too much yet. And then for his second action, what the hey, let's start taking the fight to the Scarabs a little bit. So there's this nice leveling up space here that'll let him level up and also let another player, that's what this icon means, level up for an extra cost. Now, if he goes in here, nothing happens yet because there's a Scarab. His movement has to stop. He doesn't activate the room. But on his next turn, he can try to kill the Scarab, and if he does successfully, then he's going to get to activate the room as well. Right, then time advances 4, which puts us just near the end of the first day. And I'm assuming he won't do much of anything again. Okay, he's not with Lady Weirdwood. The ogre repeatedly hammers the floor in his room, sending a shockwave through the manor. Ooh. All players defend against a blue for a minor shockwave. Let me show you how combat works, I guess. So we'll do Oliver first, who's got a single blue die right now. And blue dice have sword and shield symbols, as long as like a little critical symbol that depends on your character, as well as 1 miss. So here's Oliver's roll, and he got a shield. That's great. And it said I was defending against a single blue attack from the boss, and they didn't hit me anyway, so that didn't do anything. But even if they had gotten like a sword, my shield would have canceled it. She gets an attack, not going to help much here, and the boss attacks. Okay, so she will take 1 damage. Now, since we were defending from an earthquake, our attacks couldn't have affected the boss anyway, but like normally in combat, you're attacking them and they're attacking you all in the same set of rolls. Now, because she took a damage, she does immediately discard down to her new hand size, although when you gain life, you only draw up to your new hand size at the end of your turn. She's got a ton of books, right? She doesn't need this Lore Master Meditation. All right, but it is her turn again, and she's hanging out in a room with not too much to do. I think maybe Magic Mirror for some more movement seems like a good idea. We've got a single remaining night spot to fill, so let's go there, which will rotate. We'll just go a single space. We're just right before the day advances. Now, she is close out to the inner space right now, but she can still get out through this outer opening. Actually, you know what? Looking at the board, in all honesty, I think just getting some resources for this turn might be better. Because theoretically, Oliver is going to let her level up a die on his turn with his room. And then I think I also might want her to get a companion, so having a bunch of stuff is not going to hurt. Oh, but the boss this time after advancing time 3 is going to power up. This card is going to slot in here and give him like extra bonuses. And once you attack the boss, those bonuses go away and you get experience for them. Here we can go ahead and look. Yes, this one, while he's 8 level green, is going to give him +1 hit in every combat. And this is all cumulative, so if he was angry, he would get +3 hits. Or if he was enraged, he'd get +6 hits. But if we fight him once, this card will get discarded, and the person fighting will get 2 experience, even if we don't like do any damage to him. So it kind of gives you an incentive to fight the boss early. But first time advancing 3, which, boop, is going to take us to day 2. So we are running out of time. And the big day shift, you notice, will just shift all of the like outer ring rooms. So you kind of go back and forth between which ones are available every set of rounds. And then, like I said, the ogre is gathering his strength, so he'll have an extra hit next time he fights. All right, now we're getting to Oliver, and I want him to charge because I want to kill this guy, or at least try to. And we're next to the first day spot, so we'll go here. Now, sadly, no matchup there, so no bonus or anything. And I think if I do that, yeah, that'll leave Oliver trapped. So we're going to go ahead and go to the second day spot, so he at least has a door to go out of. Then he's going to resolve the fighting action first, and then the move. Now, scarabs get a single blue die for each scarab in the room, which is only 1 right now. They only have a single health, so if the scarab doesn't roll a shield, and I do roll an attack, seeming less likely than I thought, then I'll defeat it. On a burst, they just try to run to the next outer spot they can reach, but since there's a door here, or sorry, a wall, he's not going to be able to do that, so that'll be a dead die for him. So I'm really hoping that he rolls a sword, or a burst, and not one of these shields, or that I roll really well or something. We'll see. Okay, so first, my die. Okay, and that is a sword, so that's half the battle right there. And then the scarab. Okay, does hurt me, which is, not great, but at least I am defeating him. So I'm taking 1 damage, but Oliver's already at 2 cards. I'm not going to have to discard anything. And whenever you kill a scarab, you get 2 choices. You can either get 2 experience and just remove it, or you can get 1 experience and keep it as a resource. And in this case, there's a pretty good follower that I want Oliver to get, so I'm going to keep it as a resource. And then for the 1 experience, he doesn't have any tokens to use his powers yet, so I'm going to go here and get 1. Because I cleared out all the enemies, I get to activate my room as part of the battle action, then he'll take his move. So this one lets him level up a die, and then lets another player, at the cost of any regular resource, also level up a die. Now, they still have to pay the regular cost as well. It's just kind of an additional cost. Oliver, we'll get rid of a book and a min. And now you get to place 1 of 3 dice types. Again, black is more defense, red is more offense, blue is balance. Blue is also the only one that has like this little special ability. For Oliver, his is for each one of these he rolls, he gets to roll 2 additional dice of his choice after the enemy rolls. That's crazy. But I found in my plays against the ogre that being able to kill him is pretty dang key. So I'm going to go ahead and take a red for his first level up. Okay, then Sekhmet can also level up. For the companion I want to get for her, I'm going to spend as the extra 1 another min. And we'll just be dull for the moment and get another red. We can mix it up later. And this worked out kind of perfectly. I wanted him to get a companion, and for his new move action, he'll go into the Rogues Gallery. Lets him either recruit a companion or refresh one that's been flipped over. He's going to spend all his resources except his power token to recruit Amelia Morel. See, there's her cost. So when I flip her over, the Warden Strategist, in battle, remove 1 of your opponent's dice after they are rolled. So like if I'm about to be fighting the boss and they roll like a 2 shield and cancel all my damage, or about to bash me in the face, I can use her to stop that. Flipping them over does not prevent them from still having an action card slotted above them, but it does mean you can't use them again until generally you've filled up all your action cards. Once that happens, you have what's called a scarab phase, and you get all your companions back. We'll see that a little bit later. And you always refill, so you always have 4 available. What's this? Huame Long. Once per battle at any time, spend 1 min to reroll any 2 dice, yours or your opponent's. Oh, and that's not an exhausting ability. You can just keep on doing that whenever you want. That's pretty cool. Now, technically, these companions are supposed to go next to my space. I don't have room. We'll just kind of leave them down here for now. All right, the boss still not moving. They're going to move time forward twice. And then they're going to roll for a scarab. You're going to roll a random ring and room. I'll show you that in a second. This is discarded. And then to show you the roll dice, pretty straightforward. This tells you the ring, in this case the outer ring, and the room, in this case 12. And we just check where the corresponding day marker is currently. Boom. So 1 scarab is going into the pools of Avalon. And something I didn't mention yet, but anytime there are 2 scarabs in a room, the room gets blighted. You can't use its power anymore. But if you kill everybody in there, then you can spend the indicated resources, in this case 1 min and 1 knowledge, to flip it back over. You get the indicated amount of experience. You get to activate the room when you do that. And then a big thing for the Chaos Ogre, for every single room that is currently blighted, so there's an ever-changing track, then his blight threat goes up. He gets an automatic blue die in all combats if he gets a 3, an automatic red die if he gets a 6 or more, and then 8 means you lose the game. Sadly, Oliver is hurt, so he does not get any more cards yet. Okay, now we are back to Sekhmet. Okay, we're on this type, so I guess go in here. Ooh, and this is nice. The Magic Mirror Wild is matching up with the min, so any min cost, which we are about to do this turn, is going to be -1. Okay, and we're going to copy these Shadow Steps for 2 move actions. First, we got to advance, and sadly, the first one won't let me get where I want to get, so we're going to do it one more time. Otherwise, she would have been trapped. So for her first move, she's going to go say hi to her buddy. And she's going to get Arthur Weirdwood, but only paying 1 min and 2 knowledge, so she'll keep 1. Nice. And he can let her use any power on her board for free. And to show you her powers, they're pretty cool. Experienced Tactician lets her reroll dice, and that just costs the token. Abracastabra lets you add a die of your choice to any player's battle, not just her own, and she gains 3 experience. She also gets experience for rerolling. And then finally, your most expensive, Warden Advance, which I'm imagining is what I'll use for Arthur Weirdwood, is whenever I move into a room, I defeat all of the scarabs there. Defeating them means you still get to get experience for them and keep them if you want. And then, of course, I get to activate the room because it has killed everything, so that's a really nice one. Arthur's certainly going to be helping me with that. Ooh, in fact, let's get a little fancy. For her second move, she's going to go into the Phoenix Garden and immediately use Arthur's ability to do her little dance here and kill the scarab right when she comes in, which means she's going to get to activate this room that lets her heal too. And, flip Arthur back over? Don't mind if I do. And, I think she's going to go fight some more scarabs in a second, so I'm actually going to take the 2 experience and not get the 1 scarab so that she's getting a +1 hit in every combat. Between that and the red die, hopefully she can kill some things. And like I said, she's going back up to 5 life now, and Arthur is flipped back over. Now, before we see her big 5-card draw, 2 time, and then, going to spawn a scarab in the ogre's room. Luckily, that's the only one there. All right, and then let's see. Okay, there's her charge and light-footed feint. Okay, great. So these are 2 ones with movement and attack. Might have her run over and attack the boss, since his power card is sitting there. She also has Warden Battle Training. Some cards do have additional costs to spend them, usually when they're, or play them when they're more powerful. So here she attacks. She adds 1 additional die of her choice to the battle and gains an additional experience for every 2 successful hits. Not bad. Then she got Slice and Dice. Add a red die to this card and discard the die after the next battle. Then optionally play another action card to one of your open time of day slots. So this one's a little bit weird because it advances time very quickly, at least if I'm understanding the card correctly, but it gives her a lot of attack. All right, Oliver, how about you? You need to get some healing, don't you? Well, for now, Magic Mirror seems like the way to go, maybe for a charge. And we have a night phase next. Can he get out of where he is, though, if he does that? Ooh, no, he cannot. Oh, no. All right, so he's going to advance the day somewhat prematurely, although he is getting an extra attack, so that's cool. To play the Magic Mirror, activating charge, and we have to go to a day phase, which means we'll go to that one, which does, yes, that gives him a way to get the heck out. And that's going to advance us to day 3. So he can move and attack. Now, I could run him over and attack the ogre, but the 1 scarab there is going to guard the ogre. You have to kill all the scarabs in a space before you can even attack the boss. And also the boss has an attack card on top of their deck, so he'd definitely kick my butt afterwards if I did that. Maybe instead of doing charge, I'll do Shadow Steps and get a double move. Go to the Atrium of Wishes first to heal, because having only 2 cards is not great, and get an experience, and one of these 2. I think a knowledge. And the experience, let's work towards that free hit every time. And then let's maybe have him, for his second move, go to the Treasure Vault. He can plan to attack next turn. A lot of resources if you defeat anybody there. And the ogre's got another 4 advance. All right, and he's trying to attack Lady Weirdwood. Then he attacks everybody in the room with him. If there are no players in his room, he directs his fury at the room. Oh, place a rubble tile there. Okay, this is an interesting thing. But there's another one of his unique elements. He can rubblerize rooms, which means they can never be used again. They can never be moved into. Now, the nice thing is this scarab is basically, we might as well take him off because he's not doing anything. No more scarabs will ever move in there, so that room's never going to get blighted. But now he can move freely out of there. It's almost as though there were no door there, no matter what the rotation is like. So, his next card is a move card, so there we go. All right, and now we get to Sekhmet. I think I want to stab me some scarabs in this central place. Because if we can kill all of them, we'll save Lady Weirdwood, and she can start moving around and giving us +2 attack anywhere she is. Let's go a little wild here. So first, I want to play the slice and dice. Oh, it's not going to work as well. Well, no, it will if I do it up here. Okay, so I'm going to play the slice and dice on Arthur Weirdwood. So that gets me a red die for my next fight, and then I'm going to play charge. Oh, no, it won't work. Okay, it's fine. I'll play it up here then. You'll see in a second how that's going to advance time. And then I'll play charge on Arthur, which is not going to match up because technically it's to the right of my other cards. Okay, for the first action, I'll advance that. And then for the second action, since it's wild, I'll advance to the first evening spot. Okay, and then she's going to move in. And then she'll attack. So it is 6 scarabs. They're going to roll a lot of dice. And if they get those little burst symbols, they're going to head up out of here and be annoying. But my bonuses, I'm going to use Arthur to use Abracadabra for free. So I'm getting an extra die of my choice. I'm just going all red. I don't care if I take a lot of damage. So I've got that red. I've got the red from Slice and Dice. Got my own personal red and a blue. And I've got +1 automatic hit here and +1 automatic defense here. And you can use the little track on the outside to keep track of attack and defense. So I've got 1 of each to start. Let's go for some of those double swords. Oh, actually, that's good. So this one for her is 2 unblockable sword hits, so shields can't even reduce them. So I got no defense besides my free one, but I am potentially killing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scarabs. Now, I could use Experienced Tactician and re-roll and get experience for it, but that's better if you're like rolling a ton of dice. Oh, and speaking of experience, I forgot. Abracadabra lets me score 3. Let's get 2 more ability tokens. All right, but yeah, I've got, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I should remember that 2 of those are unblockable, but that probably won't matter. Unless the 6 scarabs just like roll, I don't know, every defense possible. Oh, my God. Okay, so 3 of them are running away. That's probably not great. And then 2 of them are defending. And then 1 of them is attacking. All right. So let's do the running away first. So how it works is they go through open doors. Unfortunately, oh, crud. They're doing that. Now, this one never blights, but it is blighting the courtier's room here. All right. And they're going to keep on spreading out in a second. That was not ideal. And the blight threat is up to 1 now. But the good thing is they had 2 defense and I had 6 attack, so my unblockable stuff doesn't matter. So I'm killing the other 3. Lady Weirdwood is now free, and no one is ever going to spawn in here again, by the way. Normally when you have a little scarab phase, which you're about to see because I filled up all my action cards, normally you'll place 1 scarab in an available spot in the throne room, but since literally everyone is dead, that won't happen. Oh, and they got 1 hit on me, but I blocked it. Yay! Let's see, I got 3, so I could just get 6 experience straight up. Or I could get 5 and keep a scarab. Yeah, let's do that. And I kind of want to go fight the boss a little bit, maybe. Or, I don't know. Maybe I want to get this, which would need a book and another resource. But yeah, I was going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, it's not enough. I would need 6. All right, forget the scarab then. I'll take the full 6 experience. I'm going up to 6 life. And now I've got a free attack and a free defense in every combat. All right, so not too bad. Not necessarily great, but not too bad. Before we get to the scarabs, let's show the boss phase. 3-time advancing, then he's moving, which gets us pretty close to day 4. Now, he's not powering up until day 5, so that's okay. Okay, and then his action, hunting the lady. If he's with her, then he puts a scarab in his room. Otherwise, move him, to Lady Weirdwood's room or as close as possible. If it's tied, we decide equidistant. If he couldn't move at all, he would smash his room, but he definitely can because he already smashed it. Anyway, with the current rotation, the best he can do is get into tier 2. Where do I want him to be in tier 2? He's going to move again next turn, but I would love somebody to go and try to punch him maybe. Well, yeah, for now, let's, I don't know, put him in the companion room. I don't think we're going to get a ton more companions for a little while. All right, but now Sekhmet's entire action row is full, so we're going to do a scarab phase and then clear out our cards. So we start with the middle tier, and for every scarab in the middle tier, we see where they can move out to, and they always want to move outwards. So this one has a wall, so they can't move. This one does as well, so nobody's moving in the outer tier. They do the same thing in the inner tier, and they'll move directly across if they can, otherwise they'll go clockwise. So actually, in this case, this is great. These 2 move here, and again, the golden rooms can never be flipped, so they're not really doing anything. These guys are trapped, beautiful, so they aren't going to blight anything else. This guy jumps out to the ancient foundry. Trapped. This guy abandons me and goes over there and trapped. And then we spawn new scarabs in every inner room it doesn't already have at least one. So one there, and one there. And then we would also spawn one on the throne room if there was anybody there, but since it's been totally cleared out, they do not. All her action cards get discarded, and any companions get readied again. And then finally, she's drawn up to 6. That's cool. It's almost her entire deck at this point. And longer turn than normal, but that was everything for Sekhmet. All right, Oliver, what do you want to do? Oh, I guess you could just punch. That was what I was planning to do, right? Yeah, let's kill the guy on my space. I can just play one of these face down. Cleansing Rune of Power lets me flip any room back from the Blight, but I do have to pay the resource cost. Ooh, and then banish every scarab in there? Ooh, so if I can get a min, 2 books, and a scarab, I can just get that room straight back. That's pretty awesome. And this one, every character has Tactician's Gambit. You put a card into a spot, then you draw 2 cards, and then you play another card on top of it. So it just gives you like a chance to get something better. Let's try that. So he's got this spot free and his companion, but that one is the right time. He draws 2 more cards. Savage Sketch. A creature you conjure attacks with 5 hits against the boss or scarab in any room connected to your current room. The boss can only defend, and he scored 2. This guy's got awesome abilities. And then Determined Sprint is just move without scarabs. Okay, I'm just going to play a face-down card. The Sprint one I don't care too much about. So there we go. It's not going to match up with anything. But I do still have the free attack from charge there. I'm just going to do a basic attack on the scarab here. All right, so I'm rolling a red and a blue with +1 hit. That seems pretty good. 2 hits and no defense. And the scarab is getting a hit on me. Oh, you know what? After my next action turn, when I play a card on her, I'm going to have to refresh and everything. So let's go ahead and use her to ignore the scarab's die. And I don't take any damage. Haha. Do I want 2 experience or 1 in the scarab? I think I want 2 and a free hit forever. Oh, and then also get a book, a min, and a resource of my choice, which will be another min that'll let me level up. Yes. Okay, the boss is going to move again, it looks like. 3 time first, which gets us into day 4. Uh-oh. And what you doing, buddy? Stalking you. Oh, if he's in a space with a hero, then he would put down a scarab. Otherwise, move this Chaos Ogre to the activating player's room, and all the rest is the same. We can choose if it's equidistant. He blows up his room if you can't move at all. Oh, and whoops. Yeah, you can't. So Ogre Smash! And then, he does count as every room being open, and he still moves after he smashes the room. So he is right here with Oliver. Okay. But you know what? I think we can have a little fun here. Let's do a light-footed feint. I guess I want it to be morning. All right, for her first of 2 moves, she's going to move in to the Forge Arcanum, where the scarab is. And you know she's going to use Arthur Weirdwood to kill it right away. So he be gone. And let's get a Warden card so I can show you what those look like. Oh, nice. Marshalling resources. So you play this on the top of an action card as you play it, so I can't use it this turn, but I can use it next turn. First of all, it's always wild on both sides, so it's going to give you more bonuses. But second of all, it gives you an immediate bonus. Sometimes it's resources. Sometimes it's like an ongoing bonus hits or bonus attack dice or bonus defense for every combat. And those will generally persist, those bonuses to like attack or defense, until you've cleared out your entire action row. So they're great to play like on your first or second action of a turn. So that's pretty cool. So there's only 1 experience though, so I kept that. Then in the room I'm in, I get a book and a min, and then I can level up to twice. I know I can't afford that, but let's do 2 min and a book. She's about to go boss whacking. I want to show you a boss fight before I stop the video, so let's go. She's got a second move, boop boop, and let's have any player can spend a resource to move her in. So I'm going to have Oliver Griffin. Hey, we're just all hanging out in the same space. She's going to give +2 attack in any combat where she's present, although now she's vulnerable to getting attacked by the ogre, of course. And you know what? I like to live life on the edge. So I'm going to get rid of my scarab. And one of my powers, to use Abracadabra. That's right, and I get 3 experience. Let's go maybe 1, 2, 3. So I get a resource of my choice. What the heck? We'll get the scarab right back. And we're almost back to getting the power. So that's going to get her 3 red dice because I'm choosing red, 1 blue, and then 1 automatic hit, 1 automatic defense, and 2 more automatic hits from Lady Weirdwood. So we're starting at 3 and 1 before I even roll. Combat's fun, right? Combat's fun. Ooh, let's go. All right, I was going to potentially use my reroll power, but I don't want to anymore. So that's 5 attack and 1 defense. So what am I at? 8 and 2. All right. Now, the ogre rolls dice based on his current anger level. It's still day 4, so he's doing 2 black, focused on defense, 1 blue, 1 red, and then he gets a free bonus hit. Let's go for some blanks. Oh, man, that's a lot of defense and decent number of hits. So with the bonus hit, that's 3 hits, 3 defense. All right, so the 3 defense means he's going to take 5. We'll show you that in a second. That's great. And then the 3 hits means I'm going to take 1. So how hits work is you can remove them from any of his little spots here. Every time you remove both in a given spot, then you trigger the negative effect right here. Usually it's it's always spawning scarabs. But then the big thing is whenever you fully clear out a spot, like this one, which is what I'll probably go for first, you permanently lower his dice. So he would roll 1 less black die, 1 less defense focus die every time we fight him. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of 5 of these. He's going to roll for 2 random scarabs, though. And every damage you deal to the boss is 1 experience for you, so we're going up again. Let's see. I guess you can heal back up to 6. That's 1 experience. 2, get a power token. And then 3, 4, 5, get another warding card. Ooh, look at this one. This would give her +2 hits for every battle until she clears away all her cards. That's ridiculous. We all spawning some scaraby scarabs. We got 2 in the outer ring and 7 in the middle ring. Oh, geez. There really aren't that many scarabs on the board, so the chances of me having rolled the exact outer ring one to blight it was pretty low. But a 7 on the inner is pretty much fine. And boop, there we go. And I think I'm going to stop the playthrough part there. This game does go a little bit longer than I usually prefer to film, but you can kind of see how everything works. But those are the basics of the game. Again, there are 2 other bosses at least. Maybe there'll be more, I'm not sure. But they play very differently. Like the other ones don't spawn nearly as many scarabs, and the scarabs don't matter quite as much. They're more like there to kind of annoy you and get you experience. But let's get into my thoughts on this one. So first of all, one of the most unique things is the rotating board. And I'll say that, like, for my taste, this is a little bit of a mix. I think players who are, like, really into interesting tactical choices and, like, really perusing, like, all their options are going to love this. And you do sometimes have to think, like, not super far ahead, but you sometimes get like, trapped in a room if you're totally silly and just go in totally the wrong place. So I think there's a lot of cool things to consider. I love the fact that, like, all the rooms are in different spots every game and get shuffled up, so you're going to have a very different board every game. But I also think it can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming. It's a little frustrating if you are dumb and get trapped in a place, although they do have a decent number of teleporting effects, so you're usually not really trapped. And yeah, I think it's, for my taste, it's a little bit more than I want. But, it does give you a lot of variability play to play and a lot of choices and, like, thoughts on what you tactically want to do, so that's great. Speaking of variety, all 3 of the bosses, like, do very different stuff. Lady Weirdwood works differently. Combat with them works differently. Like, there's really some pretty neat mechanics going on here. I'd even, like, put it above something like Aeon's End in terms of, like, boss variety. So this is definitely a cool selling point. Again, I don't know if there's going to be more than 3. You'll have to look at the campaign page to see that. But even with 3, I think it's a nice amount of variety. It really does feel like a fairly different game based on which boss you're fighting off against. And I like the predictability of their turn. You see how much the time is going to advance. You see what they're going to mostly be doing. So you really, like, know when it's most dangerous to approach them, when it's least dangerous. I think that's all great. Character variety is also pretty good. These 3 abilities are really impactful, and you get a chance to use them a lot as you level up. And then, they do have some unique cards in their deck, so that gives them their own kind of flavor as well. Now, the thing that I don't like quite as much is that I do feel like, these are never changing, and these are the same for all the characters. So, like, I pretty much always go for the free hit and the free defense pretty early, and just, like, kind of getting little rewards. But the thing is, these aren't here to, like, really separate the characters too much. These aren't here as, like, a primary level up mechanic. They're really just here to kind of give you, in a Euro sense, more interesting, like, tactical choices in terms of gaining more resources, is at least how I feel about it. So it's cool. I do like the character variety, and especially like the complex ones really do, like, goofy things. And I do like the feeling of leveling up from, like, your dice and from your companions. You do get stronger, and the unique abilities are pretty cool. But again, like, the experience track is not really an RPG kind of game. It's not like a dungeon crawler. You're not going to get that growth of abilities you might be wanting. I definitely think of this more as, like, kind of a Euro adventure game, and then I think you'll be in the right headspace. The action card play can be pretty cool. I do feel like sometimes your cards are a little bit too ineffective. Like the fact that you can just do a single move or a single attack. You only have very few cards in your hand that let you move and attack, which is cool because you need to, like, position yourself well and, like, get into the room with the boss, get into the room with scarabs, and then sometimes, like, bide your time before you actually get the attack off. But especially at higher player counts, it can be, like, a little bit frustrating. Like, if you run in and attack the boss and then run in and plan to attack the boss, and then, like, they move away before you get the chance to actually seal the deal and, like, stab them. I'm not sure if that's always fun. I sometimes wish you had like more consistent icons on here, could do like 2 things with your turn, but clearly that would make you too powerful. So the balance is fine. But yeah, like the action card playing, picking like which phase to play it into, getting bonuses if you play your cards right, getting companions to give you more options, that all works really well. I just sometimes wish that I got to do more on my turn. And speaking of player count, this is one that, and I say this for a lot of games, I like pretty quick player turns and pretty quick downtime. The turns aren't that long. You just play a card, do some stuff, and then flip a boss card and resolve it. But this is, again, one that I probably wouldn't want to play with like 4 players. 3 players was fine when I tried it. 2 players was fine. I've actually played with 4 players, but it just seems like it would be a long time. And again, it seems like there might be too much flux before your turn comes around again. Like the action you were going to do is blocked by a scarab, blocked by the boss. The board is turned like too far. So yeah, I'm not sure if this would ever be a 4-player game for me personally. Although I do want to say in terms of player count, a lot of the abilities, like almost all of them, and even card abilities and room abilities, give you ways to help other players. There's a lot of cool cooperative opportunities in here. It's also pretty interesting to play multi-handed with a solo, although I think you can play true solo. So yeah, I appreciate how many cooperative options they've given you in the game. So there you go. That's Weirdwood Manor, a prototype play of it. It should be on crowdfunding soon or now, based on when you're watching this video. So go check it out, see what you think. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.